I'm live. So, hi everyone. I'm happy to be back once again in this everyday life of a happy mom channel. And this is day 3 of the day 20 of the 21 days journey to achieve a successful life or breakthroughs in 2022. So, before I move on, let me first introduce myself. My name is Ellen, and I'm from the Philippines. Mabuhay! I'm a mother of two growing kids, a finance professional, a proud digital business owner. I'm also a mentor and now a published author of I Am Happy in My Kitchen Too, and a proud motivational speaker. So today's day 3 of the 21 days of journey towards a breakthrough in achieving breakthroughs and success in 2022. So today's topic is really on um, planting seeds, right? So planting seeds before harvests. And this is really a very good part. This is part of the power of positive mindset. And the day 1 was power of positive mindset. And then day 2 is creating roots, creating their fruits. And day 3 is planting seeds before harvest. So really, these are actually processes, or I would say principles in lives that allow us to achieve breakthroughs. And it's February of the new year 2022. And I really hope and pray for every one of us to be able to have these practices, so that we can achieve what we are uh, putting as our goals, our endeavors, our projects, our dreams, our aspirations for this year. And these breakthroughs span from all areas of our lives, right? Who would not want to have, success and breakthroughs in all areas of our lives? So it can be in any areas of our lives, but it can be in our physical. Being healthy is actually a wealth in itself. It can be emotional, right? It can be, of course, mental health or aspect of our lives. It can also be spiritual, which is equally important to have in our lives, and financial area of our lives. So these are actually areas that we can have breakthroughs in this year. And why not? If we can achieve all areas of our lives, with the grace of God, why not, right? So, as they say, you hit the stars so that at least you can have the moon, right? So, it doesn't matter how many goals you have in your year 2022. It can be what, 15, it can be what, 10, it can be 6, it can be 5, it can even be just 3 or 1, right? But the important thing is we know exactly what are the goals we have for 2022. And for day 3, we are saying that, of course, we need to plant seeds, right? So planting seeds, as I said, can be in any areas of our lives. Planting seeds is also likened to a parable, a biblical context in Matthew 13:3, verse 8, the parable of the sower or the farmer, right? So the story goes like this, where the farmer one day he went out to sow the seeds, of course. So he throws the seeds to the pathway. And of course, the birds took them. The birds just happily took the seeds, and it's already gone by the time the seeds already are snatched by the bird. And so, again, the farmer throws the seeds to a what? The next is rocky road or the rocky areas. And of course, when you say rocky, there's not a lot of soil, right? Where the roots can hold the the when the rocky road is actually less soil. So that means there is not enough ground, foundation for the roots to be planted. And of course, when the sun goes up in the morning, it withered. The seeds can wither because of the heat and the scorching heat. So there's a lot of likings or parallelism on in terms of what the scorching heat of the sun. It can be likened to what environmental issues that we have, or other uncontrollable issues that we have in our lives, perhaps. So there's a lot of what similarities in our lives that this parable of the sower is likened to. And then other way, the farmer also throws the seeds to a thorny path, or a thorny place where the seeds grow. It grew a bit, but it was also choked. So these thorns can also be likened to problems, to difficulties, to anything that the person is probably feeling choked or being challenged, and it may be too much for a person. And so that seeds also did not make it, right? So because of a lot of negativities around, or probably influences of the environment, of the background, the negative thoughts. It can also be you know it can also be a negative people, maybe negative energies that also contributed to the failure of the task or goal of a person not pushing through. And of course, the last is the farmer sows the seeds in the good soil. So the good soil, of course, has all the elements of a foundation of a good seed to grow, right? So there's a good sun, there's a good soil, there's a good fertilizer, or good nutrients that the roots can absorb, and there's a good air, right? And so the seeds grew to be what, 100-fold or 100 times, it says, or it can be a 60 times or 30 times. So what we're saying here is we can always plant seeds, and the question is, where are we going to have these seeds land onto, right? It can be in the pathways where the birds can take them, or it can be in a thorny, or it can be what, in the rocky places where there's not much soil, where the roots can grip and can hold onto. So when the sun is hot and the scorching heat uh, can just destroy the um, roots or the plants, because the roots are not really anchored. So it can also be likened to not really have a good foundation of what the elements of the task and the pursuit of a particular goal. And then it can also land to a thorny place, where it can also choke the seeds when it grows a bit. So, and of course, the last but not the least, it can of course land in a good soil. So I think I would have to make this a little bit bigger so that you will see that, we are actually not doing this for a what I'm going to make it bigger. So it says here, always do your best. What you plant now, you will harvest later. That's by Og Mandino. So he's really into planting seeds. Of course, anyone who wants to be successful really has to plant seeds. It can be any kind of seeds in the form of habits. It can be in a form of a business venture. It can be in a form of a what I'm doing, which is a digital business, where you have to plant seeds of learnings and things that needs to be um, put into a good soil. So you need to learn, you need to have elements of time, you have to have elements of talents, or you have to put resources into it, you know. And it says here, by Robert Stevenson, don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. Because um, we can always harvest anytime, right? But after it's already due for harvest. But as just like the farmers, before even they harvest, they're already planning to plant seeds. So that's the cycle of life, even, right? That's the cycle of life. God also, keeps on just doing the planting seeds, having human beings born, reborn, because that's how the cycle of life is. And it's the same with the planting of seeds. And as I said, it can be anything. It can be thought, it can be a physical thing like planting the plant, a tree or a seedlings. It can be something like a habit. It can also be something like a business venture. It can also be like, putting the principles and fundamentals of what teachings of what is a good a good process to make the project successful. Or it can also be you know uh, words of God, right? That you can plant seeds in the heart and mind of people uh, to make it a foundation of our lives. So it can really be anything, depends on the focus and the kind of areas of life where you want to focus. So really it starts from planting seeds, right? So it can be literally, it can also be like just conceptually or, in principles. So it's really a matter of making it a habit, right? The habit of planting seeds allow allows anyone to harvest. And I love to harvest. I love to always get from my garden. I love gardening. That's one also of my passions aside from cooking and baking, and of course writing and reading books. So the thing is, life is really about learning and growing and sharing, right? So what we learn, what I do learn in my day-to-day activities as a mom, I do it here in my everyday life of a happy mom channel, because it allows me to share. It allows me to um, to plant seeds in the hearts of men, women, in the hearts, in the minds of young people or old people or not so young people like me. I really, really want to share, what we can give to working moms, to dads, or anyone who needs inspirations in life. Because in this kind of our situation, we need to be inspiring and sharing something that will better our lives. So we want to make this a better world each time, each moment of our lives, and that is done by sharing, right? So I hope, guys, that you're doing well and in the best of everything, and you're learning something. And we have about what? How many days before we have the 21 days? That's going to be 18 days to go with God's grace. There's a lot of things I will be sharing with you. And this is part of the book that I'm actually doing right now. It's actually, tomorrow is the day 4. That's the second power, which is the power of purpose, right? So the first power is the power of the positive mind, which is actually really the basic foundation of really making our lives better. As we said, um, taken from T. Harv Eker, one of my favorite author and speakers. He said that our thoughts, positive thoughts becomes our feelings, and our feelings becomes our actions, and our actions become our results. So really, the thinking of having positive mindset is actually key to our uh, achieving success and breakthroughs in life. And these are under the positive mindset. The roots create the fruits, and of course, planting seeds before harvest. So I hope, guys, you will catch me again tomorrow for the power of purpose, which is actually going to help us move forward as we now move to a much specific action in terms of the purpose that we are having in our lives. So catch you soon tomorrow, guys. And I hope that you are learning something. And if you are actually catching replay, put in a chat box uh, what are the seeds that you have planted so far in your life that you have harvested. So I have already, of course, planted quite a lot of what plants and trees, fruit trees. I had already the avocado tree that I have already harvested for a couple of years. About 8 years ago, I have just actually thrown that on the side and it grew, right? So I have to add here the element of there was this saying I've seen that, we plant the seeds and God takes care in allowing us to harvest. Because, like for instance, that avocado tree um, I planted it because I usually eat the fruits and then I just threw that on the side, and then it sprouted. It grew and it was about probably what almost 1.5 meters, and that's probably about, so 1 meter is about 3.3 feet, so there's probably about what 6 feet. It's a bit taller than I am. And when I had some repairs and construction at the back of my home, at the side of my home, they dumped the cement in that side. So when I saw at the end of the construction days, I saw that the tree was like with cement, the roots. So I said, oh my God, what are these guys doing? So I have to remove the cement from the surrounding roots of the tree. And I was talking to the tree and I said, well, I have to remove this cement that was dumped in your surrounding place. And I really pray that you will um, grow and really bear fruit and become productive in abundance. So, with God's grace, and I know it was a miracle, the tree survived. Now, after 8 years, I harvested so many avocado trees. And I just thought, I talked to myself and said, really, God takes care of the tree. And, you know, we take care of the plants and trees, but in the end, it's really God allowing this nature to sustain the life. And of course, God is the creator of life in this universe. And that's why I'm just amazed. That's why I said in one of my Facebook posts that I love planting, because I liken the plants to us human beings, right? Because if if the planter is not going to take care of the plant, it will die, right? It, I mean, those are in the home areas, because outside trees just grow by nature naturally, right? Because of God's grace. But the one in the homes inside near our backyard, we water them. If not every day, every other day, or when the soil is dried. So, or is dry. So what I'm saying is, I love planting because when I water my plants, I always feel God's love for me, because I said to myself, if God doesn't give us a free air, a free sun, there will be no life in this universe. in this earth. And so I always am so happy watering my plants, and when I see them really not having enough water, I could feel their thirstiness and their thirst for water, or for, grasping for probably their air, their life, because of no oxygen anymore, or no water that that sustains the roots, and the roots puts all the nutrients up to the tip of the leaf, or the tree. So I just really wanted to say that, n- even if we don't have really a big lawn, or a lot, or a farm, I think even just having in our side yard, we can also try to do plant seeds, right? The one from our tomatoes that we eat, from our onions, the leftovers. I usually, especially the ginger, right? Because when you remove the skin and you throw the skin, have you noticed it grows, right? I did not know that it can grow through the skin. I was just, putting all the skin in the soil because it's part of the fertilizer, organic. I'm using it, and I just saw a sprout, a leaf of the ginger sprouting. So I said, wow, even a skin coming from the leftovers of the fruit of the ginger is actually even growing. So that can also be a start that you can do, anything that's left over. And also there's one that's in Filipino, gabi, the yam. So it's I saw in the side yard they were growing. I'll picture them. I'll put it tomorrow. I'll just give you a short shot of the pictures, and I will let you see that they're growing. And I was just astonished because I said, I did not plant this, right? But I just learned that all those scraps, when I put out the skin from the fruit, from the vegetable, like the yam or the gabi, I put them in the side because I use them as fertilizers, and I don't compost them. I don't use a compost bin, um, because I don't like the smell. I just put it in the soil and then just cover them with a lot of soil. And naturally, that's already being turned into an organic fertilizer for the trees beside that soil. So I just do that. And I was just amazed that I said, the kamote, the sweet potato as well. I actually just removed some of those because it's already like thick. Now I'm trying to grow them again because one of my helpers before, the stay out helpers, she said, I like the leaves of the sweet potato. So I just give everything to her. And so now there's a couple of leaves there. So I really, really am so amazed at how this kind of life are being created, from from this kind of recycling, perhaps. So, but even then, I would say that it's God's ways of saying that He takes care of those things, those seeds that are probably thrown even without the intention of planting them, right? I did not intend to plant them, but I was just putting it as part of my organic fertilizer. But that really, really allowed them to really grow. And I use the leaves of the ginger for my tea, and I also use them for my fish soup, or sometimes when I cook what mussel, tahong, I use for my paella. So I usually put that ginger leaves, and it's really smells so good. So I just love planting, and I really am so inspired by a lot of farmers doing their sacrifices for us to have food on the table. So I said, I think to my husband that. Um, I'm not sure if I'm live. Yeah, I'm live. I think I told my husband that uh, if I were probably a guy, I would have been probably a farmer. Meaning I wanted to really go farming, but since I really it's kind of like laborious or extensive in labor, then it's probably not so good for me because you need, of course, to do some stuff in the soil, right? But it takes a lot of labor, for example. So, but at any rate, by God's grace, I'm able to plant on my side a yard in my home. I'm still happy. So I hope, guys, this story is getting too long. I just realized that um, I just love planting, and I hope that I will inspire you. And in my channel, there's a lot of, I have some videos on planting herbs and doing some organic fertilizers. You can check that out in my video. I can probably put it in the chat box for that, or in my channel, in my video, where you can look at the on the videos I created on organic fertilizers and planting herbs, so that you will never buy again herbs. So bye for now, guys, and catch you soon tomorrow. Love and blessings. Stay safe and well.